Okay, I'm pretty much picking up where I did last time, so there might still be washing machine noise in the back. I apologise if there is. I'm doing my best with sound as much as I can. I've got a microphone here and everything else. But like I said last time, I'm making a video game, and it's going to be called Victorian Ghoul Hunters, and I really, really enjoy it. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is just some of the character designs and why I've kind of gone down this particular design route, again knowing full well that it might completely change when I actually start building the game a million years from now. What the hell fell there? Oh, I'm just going to ignore it. So yeah. So I don't know. So these characters, like I said, are Victorian Ghoul Hunters. I had to keep Victorian in my head the entire time while I was figuring this out. So I picked main characters. Now the reason I want to have 5 main characters. So far, they're all male. And that's only because I cannot draw a woman. And I can't draw, period. So, it's one of those. I want to have, a nice mix of characters, 3 males, 2 women, as best as I can. The reason I want 5 is because Ghostbusters 2 has 5. New Ghostbusters 2 has 5. It has the four main guys. That's Egon, Ray, Winston, and Peter, almost forgotten, and it also has Lewis as well. Lewis is kind of almost like a secret character. Some people don't even know he's there, but he's just down in the little corner. It was really quite fun. But I want 5 characters. I do want them to have a base of operations. Again, that's something I'm going to draw eventually, and it's actually partially shown in the first level. You kind of see what's going on, but I'll get to the level in a future video. But this first character that I drew, I don't know. I immediately thought of my good friend Jules. There's a picture of him there. I love this guy so much, and I asked him, saying, I've got an idea for a character. I want to play a video game. Would you mind if I use your image? And obviously he's like, yeah, of course, but pay me if it makes money. Like, of course I'm going to pay you, dude. Of course I'm going to. But again, this character can change. It probably is going to change. All these characters are probably going to look completely different to what they are now. This was just a basic idea, so I had something in there. And the reason I kind of went for this is because Jules is a relatively big guy. He's about 6'3", 6'2" is my height. He's a little bit taller than I am, I think. He's a broad dude as well, and I just couldn't. If you're gonna have a Victorian game, you kind of need that, suspender wearing, beefed up dude. Kind of think Peaky Blinders, maybe. Peaky Blinders Victorian? I have no idea, to be honest. Not a clue. I've only seen one episode. But yeah. So we have we have Jules, and the character I drew here also has some elements of kind of the weaponry and how they're going to use things as well. So when I first do the build of the weaponry, it is literally going to be kind of. I'm eventually going to have you be able to choose different types of weapons for certain enemies. That change weapons and enemies and stuff. But so far, it's like a Victorian version of a proton pack. Instead of like a beam stream, it's like a cable with a hook with a claw on the end. And it'll grab onto them, and it will just shock the ghost, or whatever the ghoul is, or the floating eyeball, or the demon, or the werewolf, or whatever it is I've decided to throw into this game. And yeah, so I wanted the bruiser type of character, and this is kind of what I've come up with. Here he is. Oh yeah, and they capture them with nets. So the secondary character will throw a net at them. That's an occult net. So like it takes them to a void net or something like this. But there's gonna be an image on screen of that a bit better, so you can really see him. Yeah, I've done a pixelated version of him as well. It's one of those. I'm not very good at pixel art, so I don't really know. And yeah, again, this is where I'm probably going to need some help in the future from somebody if you can, because pixel art's difficult, man. It's really hard to make anything actually look really good. Because I know if I post up some of these images, some people are going, that's rubbish because of this reason. One of these pixels is just out of line here and there. But I've gone with that short, squat style because of New Ghostbusters, because I wanted to keep the 8-bit, 16-bit top-down view of things. I think that's the best way this game is going to work. If it was in a 3D version, I think it would be rubbish. I don't think it would work. And I also think it would go way beyond my abilities, which is already beyond my abilities anyway. So Yeah, so I'm going to keep it a top-down 16-bit style game at the very most. So I can have some nice, vibrant colors. I mean, if you look at Legend of Zelda, you have some amazing-looking games. You look at the Chaos Engine, for instance, which is another game that's inspired this. It just looks so cool. It's so detailed. There's so much little things in there that you can really play around with. But if I keep it 8-bit, that means it limits the art a bit, which will breed some creativity about how I present things. But I don't know. Again, that's something I'm going to look at way down in the future. But that guy, I called him Butch. Why not? He doesn't. The most of his characters don't really have names, to be honest. I've called him Butch. Yeah, I mean, if you can see there as well, I've actually got the gun kind of there. You see the gun, and he's got that little claw thing. You see the claw shoots all the way out, and it's got these like electric barbs all the way through, captures things, and the void net there. And it's got this on the back here, where you can see the gun kind of separate out. This thing on the top is going to indicate what kind of weapon they're actually using. So this is going to be the electric weapon, I guess. It might be a lightning bolt instead. But there's going to be other types of weapons within the game. There's going to be like a sun blaster, holy water, that kind of thing. They're going to have different symbols. And as I go through these characters, you're going to see slight variations of those. But again, when I first build this, these extra weapons aren't going to be in the game. Like, these extra little bits are not going to be in the game. It's basically going to be top down, you grab a ghost, you capture him, it's done. It takes seconds to capture a ghost, blah, 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 like New Ghostbusters 2. I know I say that a lot, but there's a reason I do, because I want to reiterate that I definitely know this. I don't need you to tell me that you know this, because I know if I say something like this, somebody might do. Now, obviously, I'm overreaching there because I don't have an audience at all right now. But again, if you can comment below, let me know what you think of these character designs. Let me know what I could do to improve those character designs. I know I need a silhouette or something like this. But if you have any other ideas for them, any other ideas for characters, if you can help me draw a female character, would be amazing, because I am utterly crap at that. I've tried. It just come out like just kind of, well, these guys, really, to be honest. Anyway, this next character, I'm going to show you this. And this is where the vanity comes in. It really does. I was like, do you know what? If Jules is going to be in this game, I'm going to be in this game. And I took slight inspiration from the end of my my film, Mycophobia. Here's the final scene. You can see there I'm wearing a waistcoat, I've got a beard, and things like that as well. And that beard, that waistcoat actually was purple, so I've done that. Again, you're going to see this in a better form. But if I show this up to the camera, you can see that, yeah, there's me. Looking very angry. I probably could have called this guy Charles. I have no idea. Maybe Giles. But then again, it's a variation of the weapon again. It's a holy water weapon, so for things like the vampire, maybe? I don't know. I got a whip this time, but snake whip's like a poison whip. Not even sure I'm actually ever going to use this in the game. I think it's a bit poo, maybe a bit impractical. Also takes away from the core game loop, I guess. So yeah. But again, that's that character there. I'm going to be drawing more characters again as I go. And I want some help as much as I can. This next character, I based this next character on one of my best friends. His name's Martin. Hi, Martin. How you doing? I hope you watch these, but I really do. I based this on you because, I don't know, you've always just reminded me of a mad scientist, and it probably is because of the film we made, Farmageddon, where he's wearing that jacket. Here's a clip.
They're farmers. I don't know how, but they're farmers. Run for it, Stewie!
You can see him there. But I thought you could be a badass, a badass rogue dude. So I've kind of drawn this kind of stocky, wispy hair dude with some red shades on, because red shades are awesome. And he's got like an electro net, so he can maybe capture ghosts and ghouls in one go, or that's how you launch the net. Whether you so throwing it, you launch it out of a gun, kind of Jurassic Park 2 style. Is it Jurassic Park 2 when they shoot the Lost World? I don't know, but yeah, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Again, you're gonna see pictures of this properly. But there's this guy here. I quite enjoy him. I think he could be easily electronet. There you go. See, I thought about the logic of it. 4 things shooting out, and it's whoosh, like that, and it captures things. I guess, I don't know. I like him. I don't know what colors he'd be. I like the idea of red being on its shades, and it could be easily seen. Maybe he could be a bad guy. I don't know. He's not going to be a bad guy. He's going to be a main character anyway. And then for some reason, I really wanted like a priest type character, and I think maybe because of focusing very much on the occult in this game, like how things work, maybe having a priest kind of telling them how this works, or kind of giving them extra weapons and stuff, might be a good idea. I don't really know, but all I know is this character turns up in the first level. He's going to be turning up in the first level that I've designed, which again is another video I'm going to go down in the future. And he might join the crew. But I basically just drew this priest. It was this little monk dude. I thought he was quite cute. Oh, he's alright. But he's going to turn up in the church that's going to appear in the first game and point you to the graveyard where you're chasing a particular character again. I'll go through all that as we go through the level. Now, I'm running quite short on time here, so I've kind of waffled on a bit again, as always. This is going to happen a lot, guys. This video is going to be 15 odd minutes or so. But this next character is one of the villains that I decided that we're going to do, because at one point, these characters are going to go to Victorian London. Because you can't really do a game set in the Victorian times and not go to London. You just can't, really. I think that's a really silly idea to not do that. And who was the biggest villain in Victorian times? It was Jack the fucking Ripper. Or Jack the Ripper, really. Jack the Ripper was the biggest villain. And I thought it'd be really cool if you were chasing him through London. I like the idea you chase him particular things, and he's causing things to happen. So he would end up in like a 3-stage London level, essentially. You have the streets of London, you have the London Thames, you go to the museum, and you end up in Big Ben, running through Parliament. And we destroy him, or he disappears, he vanishes, or something like this. And it's just the reason why Jack the Ripper was never caught, never found, because he just vanishes. And I've designed him, and I figured, like, what's really stand out. Another reason I use these colours as well is because I literally have a very limited amount of pens. Just to kind of give you an idea, these big, fat felt pens here were all the colours I had, so I kind of made do with what I had. But yeah, it's also the bottom of this as well. It's kind of like the end boss battle, for the boss battle for this particular Jack the Ripper in Big Ben. I'll explain it a little bit better in another video, but you're going to see that in this thing. I'm going to take a picture of it. But Jack the Ripper, I've designed him like this. Big old cloak, shadowy face. You can just see his yellow glowing eyes. He's like, get away from me. Big old knife, there it is. And then at the bottom there, you can see the level where you fight him, and you can see the idea of, yeah, look, there's your dude shooting things. There's Jules, there's me with a net, and go from there. But as you can see, my idea of how levels work is quite... I just don't know if I can get it right. I mean, that's the one thing I'm worried the most. If I can't get that isometric view right, or the top-down view right, I'm going to mess things up royally. But you can see Big Ben has kind of broken. You see that? It's got a broken thing. So at one point, I did have this vision of it exploding. Obviously, again, this isn't a real-life situation. It's, you know, they didn't hunt down Jack the Ripper. They didn't exist. You know, that kind of thing. But it's one of those. The next one. So I mentioned in my last video that I have one character that I'm kind of tempted to turn into my logo for this game dev venture that I'm doing, maybe even the logo that I use for all my games that I produced beforehand, which I'm going to use simple games, which I think I'll talk about in the next video, the kind of games I'm looking at making before I actually start making games properly. But this I've called him the Horned-Eyed Ghost, or Horned-Eyed Head, Horned-Eyed Demon, something along those lines, because he has no eyes, he has horns for eyes. And he's a really cool drawing. I really like it. I did mess it up a bit, because he's got... I intended him to have a body and kind of like be floating around with a body and swinging like a chain with a ball around it, with like a, you know, I think, oh god, what's the character's name? Is it Kimiko in Kill Bill? Could be very wrong there. But this character here anyway. And yeah, so like, you know, he's swinging this around and he's kind of floating about. But instead I decided to just kind of remove the head and have the head be floating around, which I think is going to be much cooler. Might look a lot better with it. I've got some pixel versions of this as well that I've already done, and I'll show you this one, but this is my horned-eyed monster. I think he looks wicked. So yeah, here's the pixel versions, and there was the first one that I just did, which is... So you can see what I'm going for, and I was using very limited amount of pixels, and then there's one with a bit more detail, which is something I'd love to go for, but there's so much detail, there's going to be so much more work for me to do. So again, it's that weighing out option. Should I actually animate a lot of pixels, or should I not animate a lot of pixels? I'm doing this by myself in my spare time. Don't know. But He's one of my cool villains. He's definitely going to show up in this game. He's definitely going to be one of the regulars as well. Oh yeah, I started another one. I couldn't quite. So this next one I'm going to show you is a completely unfinished villain. Maybe on this video I'll finish him off. But he started off going to be a werewolf, and he ended up being like a satyr, half goat claw thing. You'll see in a second. And I couldn't figure out what his head was going to be. And I wasn't sure how I was going to implement him into the game, where I was going to put him into the game. When I go through the story beats in a later video, maybe I'll figure it out then. I don't know, but maybe you can help me out with this one as well. But this is kind of just the body of the creature. He's got hoof things, hands, big old scary gnarly hands, which also makes me want to put the hairy hands of Dartmoor into this game. At least one hairy hand kind of roaming around. We've got to capture as much as we can, because that's quite fun. But then I'd have to travel to Dartmoor in game. Maybe I could just have it in the woods and just kind of have these big creatures be a reference to the hairy hands. I don't know, but so I'm thinking about other things like that as well. This next character I've got a pixelated version of as well. This is one of my faves. I'm gonna have this one in one of the early levels, probably in the first level, because you'd make sense because there's a graveyard in the first level, and why not have Death with a lantern floating about and have a couple of these maybe, or have him be the main villain. I don't know. But I like him. I think he's really cool. I've done a pixelated version. Again, just the artwork. It's not full animation or anything like that at all. There's a few notes on there. If you pause the screen, you can see a few notes. But I'll go through these notes at some other point in a later date. I think I've got another character. Do I have another character? I don't have another character just yet. So I'll go through those in a minute. But I do have one thing I want to go back. Remember Butch, Jules, and whatnot? I did do a drawn-out pixel version of him there. I think I didn't do a terrible job. I think it looks alright. And I've also got a digital pixel version as well. So they're the characters I've come up with so far. And again, as we go through these levels, as we go through this game, as we design this out, I'm going to be drawing out some new villains, and I think about what kind of villains we want for each one, and we'll draw them out, and we'll see how we go, see what the result is at the end of each video, and go from there. But guys, so that's that so far. So again, please comment below, subscribe to this, like, share, subscribe. You don't have to. Again, I don't care too much about that. If you do subscribe, you will see the videos pop every single time. But what I really want you to do is just comment below. Let me know your thoughts on these character designs. Let me know your thoughts on the whole idea of this project. Let me know where I'm going wrong, what I'm doing right. Don't just be a dick. Just help me out. Like I said, I'm doing this, and I'm not going to design a game for ages. But the next video I'm going to talk about is some of the games or ideas for games that's going to help me along the way to producing this main game. This is the dream game, so I may as well start out making some shitty games. So guys, hope you have a great day. Don't forget to be nice to each other. See you soon.